There comes a time in every soul's journey when the dream you've held quietly in your heart begins to move towards you. It may not happen the way you planned or in the timing you expected, but when divine timing aligns with your readiness, miracles unfold naturally. The universe never says no. It only says not yet. Every delay, every pause, every moment of waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. Your dreams are not denied. They are being divinely developed behind the scenes. The only question is, are you ready to live what you've been praying for? When life begins to feel heavy, when doors close before you and plans fall apart without warning, it's easy to believe that you're being punished. But what if, instead of punishment, you are being prepared? Every delay, every challenge, and every heartbreak is not a sign of rejection. It's divine redirection. You are being molded into the person capable of living the dream that once only existed in your imagination. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows when you are ready. It knows what strength you'll need to sustain your blessings and what lessons must be learned before you can receive them fully. There are seasons in life where everything seems to stand still. You pray, you work, you hope, yet nothing seems to move. In those moments, frustration can creep in, and you may wonder if you're doing something wrong. But remember this, the silence of your life is not absence, it is preparation. Think of it as the space where the roots of your dreams grow deeper. Just as a seed must break open in darkness before it sprouts toward the light, your soul must expand through moments of pressure before it can rise into its next level. The waiting season is sacred. It teaches you patience, faith, and emotional strength. It clears away what cannot walk with you into your next chapter. Sometimes the people who leave, the jobs that end, or the opportunities that fade away are not meant to harm you. They are meant to prepare space for something far greater. You may not see it now, but the universe never takes anything from you without the intention to replace it with something better aligned with your highest good. Every closed door carries divine protection. When you're being prepared, life will ask you to let go of control. It will invite you to trust instead of worry, to surrender instead of resist. That's because what's coming requires a stronger version of you, one that operates from peace, not panic. God does not rush your growth, He nurtures it. He stretches your faith, deepens your compassion, and sharpens your intuition. These are the unseen preparations happening beneath the surface, while you wonder why nothing seems to be happening at all. Preparation is not comfortable. It breaks old habits, exposes limiting beliefs, and brings hidden fears to light. But those are the very parts of you that cannot travel into your dream life. Every challenge is like a sculptor's tool, chipping away at what is false, revealing the masterpiece that's been within you all along. When you begin to understand that life's difficulties are not punishments but invitations to grow, you stop fighting them. You start to flow with them. You trust that even the pain is purposeful. Your dream is not just about what you'll have. It's about who you'll become in the process of receiving it. That's why preparation is necessary. You are not being denied, you are being designed. You are learning how to handle abundance with gratitude, love with maturity, and success with humility. You are being taught the inner stability that will allow your outer blessings to last. If everything you wanted arrived before you were ready, it might have slipped away too soon. But when you are prepared, you can hold it, nurture it, and grow with it. So if you are in a season of stillness, take heart. You are not being left behind, you are being strengthened. The universe is rearranging your path to align perfectly with your destiny. Everything is unfolding in divine order. Trust the timing of your life. Trust that you are being equipped for something magnificent. every setback, every delay, every heartbreak. All of it is shaping you into the person who will not only reach the dream, but live it fully, beautifully, and powerfully. You are not being punished, beloved soul. You are being prepared for the miracle that's on its way. The universe operates in perfect harmony. It does not make mistakes, nor does it rush. It moves with precision, waiting for you to come into energetic alignment with what you are asking for. Every dream you desire already exists in the spiritual realm. It's not a matter of if, but when you become the version of yourself who matches that vibration. You cannot attract peace while living in chaos, nor can you receive abundance while believing in lack. What you seek is waiting for you to rise into the frequency where it already lies. Alignment means becoming internally what you wish to experience externally. If you are asking for love but harbor resentment, or praying for success while doubting your worth, the frequencies conflict. The universe does not withhold, it mirrors. It reflects back the energy you are offering. That is why inner healing is the true foundation of manifestation. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin to harmonize with what you desire, life unfolds effortlessly. You stop chasing, and what is yours starts finding you. Often we get impatient and try to force outcomes. We push, we beg, we try to control timing, believing that more effort will bring faster results. But the universe is not moved by desperation. It responds to faith and calm certainty. When you trust, you open, you align. And when you align, everything begins to move naturally toward you. The delay is not denial. It's divine timing, making sure that what you're asking for arrives when you are able to hold it with grace and wisdom. Think of it like tuning a radio. The frequency of your dream already exists, broadcasting continuously. If your dial is off, even by a little, you can't hear the music. You don't blame the radio station. You simply adjust your frequency until you find clarity. The same is true with your manifestations. When your heart is filled with gratitude, your mind is calm, and your spirit is grounded in faith, you are tuned into the channel of abundance, love, and divine flow. That's when things begin to appear effortlessly, not as miracles outside of you, but as reflections of the harmony within you. The universe waits because it loves you too much to give you something that would overwhelm you. Sometimes, you're asking for a new life while still holding onto the energy of the old one. You cannot bring your past fears, insecurities, or attachments into your next chapter. That's why there are periods of waiting and cleansing. They are not wasted time. They are sacred seasons of alignment. You are learning to release resistance, to let go of the need to know how things will happen, and to rest in the knowing that they will. Every emotion you feel is a guide, showing you whether you are aligned or out of alignment. When you feel ease, joy, and excitement, you are in flow. When you feel anxiety, tension, or scarcity, it's a gentle nudge to realign your energy. The universe speaks in feelings, not words. It gently whispers, "Come back to peace. Come back to trust. Come back to love." That is the language of creation. As you align, you begin to notice synchronicities, repeating numbers, unexpected opportunities, gentle signs confirming you're on the right path. These are not coincidences. They are affirmations from the universe saying, "Wes, keep going." They show up when your inner world begins to match your outer intentions. This is why self-love, gratitude, and faith are not just nice concepts. They are energetic magnets that draw your dreams closer every day. So, don't worry if your manifestation hasn't arrived yet. The universe is never late, and it never forgets what you've asked for. It simply waits for you to believe in your worthiness, to heal the old energy, and to open your heart wide enough to receive. When that alignment happens, What once seemed impossible suddenly becomes natural. The right people appear, the right opportunities unfold, and everything starts flowing with ease. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't beg anymore. You receive. Because the moment your inner world aligns with your desire, the universe rushes in to meet you halfway. It was never about forcing anything to happen. It was always about becoming the person who allows it to happen naturally. There is a sacred power in learning to trust what you cannot see. Life is constantly unfolding in ways beyond your understanding, and much of what will bless you is being formed in the invisible before it ever shows up in the visible. Trusting the unseen is about surrendering to that divine process, knowing that just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. Seeds don't sprout the moment they're planted, but deep in the soil they are growing roots. The same is true for your dreams. When you trust the unseen, you understand that silence is not absence, and waiting is not punishment. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the quiet assurance that the universe is orchestrating every detail in your favor, even when your logical mind can't make sense of it. The human mind wants evidence. It wants to see the full picture before taking the next step. But true trust requires walking forward in faith, believing in possibilities that haven't yet materialized. When you live with this kind of trust, you stop needing to control every outcome. You begin to rest in the knowing that something greater than you is guiding the way. There are times when life may look like nothing is moving. You pray, you visualize, you do the inner work, yet nothing seems to shift. But beneath the surface, energy is rearranging, people are being positioned, and paths are being cleared for your arrival. Just because the pieces are invisible to you doesn't mean they aren't coming together. Trusting the unseen means remembering that the unseen realm is far more powerful than the physical one. Everything you've ever manifested began as a thought, an idea, or a feeling, something invisible that later became form. When you stop doubting and start trusting, your energy changes. Worry sends out resistance, but faith sends out alignment. The more you believe in the unseen support around you, the faster your manifestations can reach you. Think of the air you breathe. You can't see it, yet you trust it will sustain you. The same faith applies to divine timing and spiritual order. You are constantly being supported, even when you feel alone. Every challenge you face is preparing you to hold what's coming next. To trust the unseen is to release the need for instant results. You stop digging up your seed to check if it's growing. You understand that everything unfolds in divine order. The right things take time because they're being built with purpose. When impatience arises, remind yourself that divine timing is not delay. It's perfection in progress. Your task is not to force the manifestation, but to keep your energy open, your heart grateful, and your faith unwavering. The unseen world is rich with possibilities. It contains every dream you've ever dared to imagine, waiting for you to align with it. When you trust it, you begin to live in flow. You notice signs, synchronicities, and small blessings that reassure you that you're on the right path. You realize that you are never without guidance. Intuition, inspiration, and sudden insights are all whispers from the unseen, nudging you forward. When you start paying attention to those quiet signals, life begins to feel magical again. Trusting the unseen doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means understanding that reality is always changing based on your belief. Every great change begins as a vision. The inventors, the dreamers, the healers, all trusted the unseen before anyone else could see it. You have that same power within you. When you believe deeply, even without evidence, you send out a vibration that says, "I am ready." and the universe responds. So, when doubt creeps in, return to your center. Remind yourself that unseen hands are working on your behalf. What you desire is not lost. It is simply forming in divine timing. Every prayer, every intention, every act of faith builds an invisible bridge between you and your manifestation. You may not see it yet, but it's coming. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep walking forward in faith. Because one day, the unseen will become seen, and you will realize that it was all working for you all along. There is a gentle peace that comes when you stop trying to control everything and allow God to lead. So much of human suffering comes from the need to make life happen on our own terms. We plan, we push, we strive, and we worry, believing that if we just try a little harder, we can bend reality into the shape we want. But true creation does not come from force. It comes from flow. When you release control, you open yourself to divine guidance, to a wisdom far greater than your own. You begin to realize that God's plan is not something to fear. It is something to trust. Control is born from fear. It is the mind's way of protecting you from uncertainty. You believe that if you manage every detail, you can avoid disappointment or loss. But the truth is, control does not create safety, it creates resistance. It blocks the natural flow of the universe, the same flow that carries you toward the people, opportunities, and experiences meant for you. When you try to control outcomes, you operate from a vibration of distrust, a belief that you must do everything alone. Yet, the moment you surrender, you discover that you were never alone. You were always being guided, always being cared for, always being led. Surrendering does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It means choosing to release the struggle and move with grace instead of force. It means saying, I trust that what is meant for me will not miss me. It means letting go of timelines, attachments, and expectations that keep you anxious. When you surrender, you give God permission to work miracles on your behalf. You create space for divine intervention, where things begin to fall into place in ways you could never have planned. There is a sacred rhythm to life, and everything unfolds according to divine timing. When you insist on rushing the process, you may find yourself out of sync with that rhythm. But when you let go and allow God to lead, life becomes lighter. You begin to notice how effortlessly things come together when you stop forcing them. The right people show up, opportunities align, and the path unfolds one step at a time. You no longer have to chase, you simply follow the flow of grace. Letting God lead requires faith. Faith that even when things don't make sense, there is purpose in every delay and wisdom in every detour. Sometimes, what you perceive as rejection is actually protection. Sometimes what feels like a setback is simply a redirection to something far better. When you surrender control, you stop demanding that life move according to your script and allow it to unfold according to divine design. And in that surrender, you find peace. The kind of peace that says, I don't know what's next, but I know I'm being guided. When you live in surrender, your energy changes. You stop trying to prove your worth or earn your blessings. You begin to rest in the knowing that everything meant for you will arrive at the right time. You find yourself responding to life with calm instead of panic. You start trusting your intuition more deeply because you know that God speaks through it. Every time you follow that gentle inner voice, you align with divine flow. Every time you stop fighting reality and accept what is, you make space for miracles to happen naturally. So take a deep breath. Release the tension in your body. Let go of the need to know how it will all work out. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to fix, chase, or force anything. Hand it over to God. Say, lead me, guide me, show me the way. Then be still enough to listen. You will find that life becomes easier, softer, and more beautiful when you trust that the same power that created you also knows how to guide you. When you stop controlling, you start receiving. And when you let God lead, you finally move with the rhythm of grace. A rhythm that never fails, never rushes, and always brings you exactly where you're meant to be. There is a quiet truth many people overlook. Sometimes it isn't that the blessings aren't coming. It's that parts of us don't yet feel ready to receive them. Deep within, there may be layers of resistance, unhealed wounds, and silent fears that whisper, "I don't deserve this," or "It's too good to be true." These hidden beliefs act as invisible barriers between you and what you've been asking for. Healing the parts that resist receiving is not about trying harder or doing more. It's about opening your heart to allow what is already yours to flow in freely. Every time you doubt your worthiness, you unconsciously push away love, abundance, or success that is trying to find you. The universe always says yes to your energy, not your words say, I want abundance. But your energy says, I am not worthy of it. The energy will always win. That's why self-healing is the foundation of true manifestation. It's not enough to ask for blessings. You must become emotionally and spiritually available to receive them. You must feel safe with the idea of being loved, supported, and abundant. For many people, resistance comes from past experiences. Maybe you were taught that good things don't last, that love always ends in pain, or that money is hard to earn. These beliefs can become emotional programs running quietly in the background of your mind. They create a pattern of self-sabotage, where just as life begins to get better, something within you pulls back. Healing begins the moment you become aware of these patterns and choose to release them. You are not meant to live in limitation. You are meant to thrive. Healing resistance starts with compassion, not criticism. You cannot shame yourself into worthiness. You must love yourself there. Sit with your fears and listen to them. What are they trying to protect you from? Often, resistance is just an old defense mechanism built by a younger version of you who was afraid to be hurt again. Thank that part of yourself for trying to keep you safe, and then gently let it know that it's time to receive now. You are no longer that scared, unworthy child. You are an awakened soul, ready to experience the fullness of life. Learning to receive means softening. It means trusting that it is safe to be supported by life, safe to let love in, safe to succeed without guilt or fear of loss. You do not have to earn your blessings through struggle. You are inherently worthy simply because you exist. The sun does not choose who to shine upon. It shines on all. Likewise, divine love and abundance are available to all who are open to receive. You do not have to prove your value to the universe. You simply have to align with it by believing in your worth. When you start to heal, you'll notice how your energy changes. You become more open, peaceful, and receptive. You begin to attract people and experiences that reflect your new vibration. Life stops feeling like a battle and begins to feel like a flow. The more you allow yourself to receive without fear or guilt, the more the universe sends. It's as if divine energy was just waiting for you to say, Wes, I'm ready. So today, make that choice. Say yes to love. Say yes to abundance. Say yes to peace, joy, and success. Release the old stories that told you you're unworthy. Forgive the moments you doubted your own light. You are not too much, and you are not asking for too much. You are deserving of all that is good and beautiful. When you heal the parts that resist receiving, you open the door to miracles. The blessings that once felt far away begin to pour in naturally because your heart, now free, whole, and open, has finally remembered how to say yes to life. There is a beautiful truth about the way the universe works. Nothing that is meant for you will ever miss you, but it also won't arrive before you're ready. When the inner work is complete, when your energy has softened into trust, and your heart is open in faith, what you've been praying for begins to flow toward you with ease. You won't have to chase it, fight for it, or manipulate it into existence. It will simply arrive, as if it had been waiting for you all along. Readiness isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. It's when your thoughts, emotions, and vibration are finally in harmony with the life you've been dreaming of. For so long, many of us try to force things to happen. We chase love, we push for success, and we grasp for opportunities, believing that effort alone will bring us peace. But the energy of forcing is rooted in fear, the fear that if we don't control the outcome, we might lose everything. The truth is, the moment you stop trying to make it happen and start trusting that it will, you move into the energy of allowing. In this energy, things come to you naturally because your soul has reached the state of readiness where receiving becomes effortless. When you're ready, you no longer question your worthiness. You stop asking, "Why hasn't it happened yet?" and start affirming, "I know it's on its way." You understand that every delay was divine preparation, not punishment. All those times you were asked to wait, to heal, or to let go were moments of spiritual refinement. The waiting shaped your strength. The heartbreak taught you compassion. The setbacks humbled you and guided you back to your center. Each experience carved space within you for the blessing that was always meant to arrive. And then, almost suddenly, life shifts. The same things that once felt distant begin to appear with grace and speed. Opportunities line up without effort. Love finds you when you're not searching. The right people show up at the perfect moment. That's the power of divine timing. It moves in silence until it's ready to reveal everything at once. You look back and realize that nothing was ever lost. It was all rearranging itself so that when it finally arrived, you could recognize it, appreciate it, and sustain it. Readiness is an inner vibration, not an external condition. You don't have to wait for the world to change. You simply become the version of yourself who can live the dream with balance and grace. You release the need to prove anything to anyone. You stop comparing your journey to others and begin to honor your own rhythm. The moment you find peace in where you are, you open the gateway for what's next. The universe loves a grateful heart, and gratitude is the surest sign of readiness. When you feel whole right now, even before your desire arrives, you magnetize it faster. This is why alignment feels like magic. The things that once required struggle now flow naturally. You don't have to chase after people or outcomes anymore because your energy itself has become magnetic. You attract what matches your calm confidence, your inner harmony, and your faith in divine timing. What once felt like a dream suddenly becomes your reality. Not because you forced it, because you became the person who was ready to receive it. So if life feels slow right now, don't despair. Keep trusting. Keep preparing your heart. Keep embodying the energy of what you wish to experience. Because when you are truly ready, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, everything will fall into place faster than you can imagine. The right doors will open effortlessly, and the pieces will connect in perfect order. You won't have to chase your dream, it will recognize you. And in that moment, you'll understand that readiness was never about waiting for something to happen. It was about becoming the version of yourself who no longer doubts that it will.